What is up? Peter Ariz here with Chase Romero with Group Chat Sports. Welcome to the group chat, and we are breaking down all of these Euro 2024 groups. We've gone through the first couple, now onto Group C, Chase. And just like the other ones, no cakewalks here. Headlined by England in this group. You have England, Denmark, Serbia, Slovenia. But this England squad, man, what a talented bunch. I'm not sure I trust the man in charge, Gareth Southgate, but all in all, man, this has to be a top two talented team. Top three for sure, but I think it's between them and France as most talented side in this tournament.
Yeah, and England's England. They're stacked, from top to bottom. But I mean, are they going to bottle it like they usually do? Are they going to choke under pressure? There's so much pressure for them to get to the final and win it after losing in PKs in 2020. I think they're stacked. I mean, what can you say? They have Harry Kane up top. They have Foden. They have
Saka.
Anybody you could think of. They have the best player on the best teams in England,
and in Spain.
Yeah, and in Spain. Yeah, I just think they're gonna dominate this group. I don't think they necessarily are gonna have too much to worry about. The only thing that scares me, like you said, is their coach. If you put this like NFL terms, it's like the Chiefs being coached by Nathaniel Hackett. I feel like this is this is just a complete coach that just doesn't know what he's doing sometimes, and he gets tactical mistakes wrong. I mean, this guy sat back and played a 0-0 draw to the USA when they're completely outmatched, in the World Cup. I don't know how he's going to come out, and he's really the wild card for me. This team is definitely loaded, but is he gonna mess this up? Is he gonna do something where you're scratching your head? I feel like he has made he's felt the pressure, and he's made some he's cut some players that maybe in the past he wouldn't have cut. Rashford's left off the team. Sterling's not on this team. I just think hopefully he's
James Maddison.
Yeah, James Maddison got cut too, which is another big. People are like, maybe Gareth Southgate's finally realizing he needs to change his ways. And not stick to the same old stubborn 11 that he keeps trying to bring out.
Anthony Gordon's on the squad as of right now, so that's another guy that he added to the mix that wasn't previously involved. So.
Yeah, and he brought in Kobe Mainoo and Wharton too, which I feel like those are somebody he would have brought in the past. I just think, regardless of the coach, this team is just too good for this group, and they'll be getting out of it with no problem.
Chase, I do have the only question I have about this team is defensively.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire, I know he's dealing with an injury, but even if he did play, it's not like you could say he's world class at this point. And then at left back, I've been seeing a lot of reports and projections that Kieran Trippier would actually be starting there. And as a Newcastle fan, I can tell you he did not have a very good season, was not in form whatsoever. His age, finally getting up there. He's still great on set pieces, but defensively and in a lot of one-on-one situations, just you could tell he was kind of losing a step this year. And then had some mental lapses as well. So if he starts, how will he hold up? I think they're just absolutely loaded in the midfield. You have Declan Rice, obviously, Jude Bellingham, Trent. It'll be interesting to see what type of role that they play him in. And then obviously you have a Conor Gallagher who is a solid player as well. And then Kobe Mainoo, who will be interesting to see how much run he gets, because he's obviously a future of this team. I just have so much talent up top that they're going to score a ton of goals.
Super stacked. Like you said, their midfield's insane. I mean, Declan Rice just playing out of his mind this year. And their defense, I agree with you. That's their biggest weak point. Is it going to be exposed in this group? Maybe, maybe not. I think they have at least, the midfield to cover the patches for that group. But once they get to the knockout stages, you can't hide that defense versus these elite teams. So we'll see. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. That defense is definitely their weak link. And yeah, Trippier, yeah, garbage. Sorry, bro, but yeah, he was horrible this year. He was horrible. He lost a step, and he's often injured, and he was getting smoked 1-on-1 all year long.
Yeah.
So
Next up here, we'll talk about Serbia, and this is a team that has some, I don't want to call them household names, but recognizable names. Mitrovic, obviously, Vlahovic up top, Dusan Tadic. So, I mean, there's some guys on this team. Milinkovic Savic's brother, Vanya, is the goalkeeper, and he's pretty solid. So this is a team, a country that I don't know how much pace they have out there, and they have some guys who can do a lot of the same thing offensively, but they should have the ability to put it in the back of the net.
yeah, and they're, like you said, they have the offensive firepower. They've scored in 22 straight international games, which is, I mean, that's crazy. But also they're letting goals in too, and they're not necessarily the fastest team. These are big Serbian guys that are tall and, strong, but are they fast? Not really. Coordinated to an extent, but they will beat you in the air, and they will beat you in set pieces, and you have to be prepared for that. And like you said, their goalkeeper has been playing great this year. They do have a great midfield, but do they have the depth? Do they have the cohesion? They didn't necessarily destroy everybody in their group qualifying, and they could score. Don't get me wrong, but are they that great of a team? I'm just like, I'm not really sure about that, but we'll see.
Denmark next up here, and a big name, Rasmus Højlund, the Manchester United talisman. I think he'll shine on this stage, Chase. I think that he's really due for a breakout tournament. Christian Eriksen, the veteran, obviously his incident last tournament was crazy with the situation on the field, but awesome to see him come back here and play football again. And it's going to be a really cool moment, I'm sure, for him to get back out there, and everyone will remember that for sure. But this is an interesting side.
Yeah, like I think Denmark's a great team. I'm honestly, like, the World Cup, they were my dark horse, and they completely disappointed me. They disappointed a lot of people. I feel like the addition of Højlund, he's a great center forward. Not less, I wouldn't say he destroyed the Premier League his first season, but he's everything you need in a center forward. He could have build-up play. He's holding the ball up. He's a great aerial presence, one-on-one. He has a rocket for a leg. He's what you want in a center forward, and I feel like that's what the team was missing in the World Cup, are like somebody that could score, and defensively they're great, and they play as a team. It's hard to understand because international is different from club, but club, you play with these players week in, week out, maybe a little more selfishly. This Denmark team is an unselfish team, and they know each other. They're friends with each other. This is like camaraderie to them, and I just feel like they want to make up for what they did in the World Cup, and they want to prove to the world that they should be taken seriously as an underdog here.
And I really like them defensively. Joachim Andersen from Crystal Palace is really solid.
Great. Yeah.
Christensen, Barcelona, I don't know if he's going to be starting for them, but
I think he will. Yeah.
And Simon Kjaer from AC Milan. So they have some guys back there defensively.
Yeah. When you look at where the players play, it's not like some random Denmark, Danish like third division league or first division league. They're playing for big clubs. And these guys do have talent everywhere, which is another reason why I like this squad.
Yeah, and I think they'll play on the forward, on the front foot, and try to score some goals. So it should be a pretty entertaining team to watch.
Yeah, they have a lot of heart, no pun intended.
So So listen, you can make the joke since he's okay. So we'll let it go. So last team here in the group, we have Slovenia, which I can't say I rate them all that highly, Chase, but their head man Benjamin Šeško, excuse me. It's a big summer for him. He's probably going to be on the move. But Jan Oblak in the goal, another recognizable name. How do you see this team kind of favoring here?
Well, yeah, I think they have to not necessarily try to overpower teams, maybe work on the counterattack and work through the air. But I feel like when you have a keeper of Oblak's level, and he's one of the top keepers in the world for a long time. On the international level, that guy could, he could save a couple balls that maybe another keeper wouldn't, and that's going to separate you from one team or the other. And obviously Šeško, that guy's playing out of his mind. Every single team wants him right now. There's like a bidding war right now in the Premier League for him. So I feel like I just think they've shown results. They've beaten teams. They could score on offense, and when you have a defense that's pretty good with a keeper that's world class, anything can happen in the international level. So I feel like not a lot of people are giving them a chance, but I kind of like this team. Like they've showed me something in the qualifiers. I bet on them a couple of times. I bet on Šeško to score a couple of times. I just feel like I followed them well enough that I think they are low key underrated in this, and they don't really have anything to lose. They're coming in with no pressure. No one thinks they're going to do anything. So sometimes that's a good thing, especially in such a hard tournament and such a hard group.
All right, let's get into the predictions here. Chase, as I pull up the handy dandy Telegraph group stage predictor here. I'm just gonna put them there at number one, because we all know who we think is gonna win this group. Right?
Yeah. So yeah, number one, England. I don't think that has to be explained that much. They're the best team. They're the odds-on favorite to win this tournament, and I just think there's not really a chance they lose this group. Maybe they score 7 points. That's the lowest I see them score. And then after that, for number two, I have Denmark. I just think, like we said, top to bottom, Denmark's a solid team. They have the players, and they have players playing at a high level and club level. They're gonna come out and play, and I feel like they do have something to prove since their last performance in the World Cup. So I think they do beat Slovenia and Serbia pretty handily, and then they probably lose to England, or maybe a draw to Slovenia or one of the other ones, but they're going to come out no matter what. And number three, I have a little surprise pick with Slovenia.
Ooh.
Yeah. I just think, I like them, and this is the kind of tournament that somebody like Šeško could, he could show up, and he could score 3, 4, 5 goals, and then everybody will be like, oh, wow, yeah, I've always loved them. But yeah, you didn't say it before the tournament, like this guy, this team, I think they're good. I don't think they're, elite or anything. I just think they have players, and they have the type of team that I feel like can make a little bit of a little bit of noise in the international level, between a strong goalkeeper and a strong striker. Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, I think obviously that did surprise me there, but I agree with you with England, of course. Denmark, I do think they are going to be number 2 in this group, and then my only switch here is flipping Serbia and Slovenia.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I really like you talking about goalkeeper. Milinković-Savić, Vanja at goalkeeper. Big fan of his, and I think he's gonna announce himself on this stage here a bit. And then you have proven goal scorers as well. How they mix together, I'm not exactly sure because they are pretty similar.
They're like the same person almost.
But you have Tadić. He's older, 35 years old, but probably his last go around in a major tournament here. Maybe he gets one more in. I don't know, but I think that I think that they'll have enough to get it done against Slovenia. And then could they get a point off of Denmark? Potentially. So should be interesting. But
I think, I mean, we're pretty much thinking the same. I just, sometimes I feel like it could be interchangeable, maybe, but I feel like Slovenia just has a little bit more for me.
All right, there it is, Group C. Remember to check out all of our other group breakdowns here for Euro 2024, and also check out when we drop it a day or two before the tournament begins, our betting picks. Going to have a bunch of player props, player of the tournament, young player of the tournament, golden boot, all that fun stuff. Group Chat Sports. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everyone for watching today.